Racing on Sunday takes place out at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, where we've got 8 races on the program. It is Sunday the 20th of July 2025, and it will be a week exactly until the end of champion season here in KZN, with the Whirlpool Gold Cup race meeting taking place on Sunday the 27th of July. 10 races on the program and a feast of group races to look forward to come the following week Sunday, as we look to wrap up what has been a highly successful season here in KZN, and I can't believe that it's gone by so quickly, but the build-up is certainly underway. Race number 1 on the card on Sunday, 12 is the off time. It is the start of the bipod maiden juvenile plate of the 1200 meter trip, and before I get into race number 1, we've got an interview with Michael Roberts.
Black Frost is he's doing well, you know. He's the run the other day, his first run back after being gelded, you know, he needed it a bit. So, you know, I'm expecting a nice run for him. You know, so obviously it's never easy with all the first timers in the race, but you know, he'll be competitive.
He'll be competitive is the word from Michael Roberts with number 7, Black Frost, who's had 6 goes to date. He finished 4th last time out behind George's Magic. As a 2-year-old, he has shown bits and pieces of form that will make him a competitive runner in this contest here. I think more trifectas, quartets. I prefer a couple others ahead of him. And before I touch on those horses, the market has got number 10, Green Gateway, at 9 to 10, 13 to 10 into 9 to 10. 2-year-old son of Gimme the Green Light, well-bred and well-related son of Gimme the Green Light, was a 2.2 million rand purchase as a yearling, and this horse has certainly caught the attention of many that has got involved in him. Mojave Prince 4 to 1, Black Frost number 7 at 5 to 1, along with number 9 Bourbon's Beast at 16 to 1, and Better Bar those. Now, when you have a look at the first timers, there are 4 first timers to be exact in this race. The only one that really makes appeal is this 2.2 million rand purchase, son of Gimme the Green Light, from the Dean Canamere yard. And we know that Dean Canamere can get them ready on debut. The comment from the yard is nice type, include in exotics, and generally that does mean that they are forward and they can make a winning debut. And we'll obviously have to monitor the market as we get closer to race time. If there is a follow through of support, well, then perhaps he is going to be the right horse in the race. But the 2 form horses that I think are going to run big races and give him the most to think about: number 8 Mojave Prince. I like the manner in which he finished off his race on debut when finishing 4th behind Chapbook. He was beaten 6 lengths. Guard puller horses, especially his first timers, they do tend to come on with a run under the belt, and they are horses that often improve at the 2nd, 3rd time of asking. And the fact that this horse ran 4th on debut, fly jumped, and he lost 2 lengths as well, there's plenty of positives to take from that run. Clickbait coming through to win, and a horse that finished well down in the field, Capricious Miss, coming out to run 2nd at her next start. So form line's holding up nicely. Callan Murray now takes a ride, and any amount of improvement from the son of Captain of All. And then number 9 Bourbon's Beast. I liked his run last time out to Gimme Rules when showing some good improvement. He's a horse that come from a banging form yard of Windy Whitehead. I think there's going to be more improvement to come. 1200 meter trip, no issues, and he's a horse that I think will be in the firing line. Dean Canamere will have a line with Gimme Rules, who is the full brother to the real Prince, Gimme a Prince, and the real Countess. And yep, I think that the Gimme's Countess rather. And let's see how number 10 Green Gateway does go. But 8, 9, and then 10, I think those are going to be the 3 horses that you can play around in leg number 1 after bipod. And of course, follow the money for any, follow the market at least for any further race time support. I'm working on the date, so we'll certainly try to get hold of Dean Canamere or Nicolette Roscoe for a comment as we get closer to race time about number 10 Green Gateway from the Canamere yard, and let's see how it all unfolds. But 8 and 9, the 2 form horses, and let's see how it unfolds. Race number 2, start off the place accumulator, maiden plate for fillies and mares of the 1000 meter trip. 1 o'clock is the off time. We've got an interview with JC Bortis and Michael Roberts.
Look, she has been working okay. She will definitely be green and will need the run. I have sat on her, but the work's only been okay, not too great.
Yes, things went a bit wrong. Somehow she got a fright in the gate and she banged her head on the front gate, and so they could, obviously we couldn't run her because, she was injured. I think she'll run well. She's a nice filly, and 1,000 metres, should suit her well.
Yeah, number 6, Miss Kansas, currently tops the boards along with number 8 and 9. They're all trading at 3-1 in the market here. Number 1, Chimes at Midnight, 9-2. Champagne Problems, 11-2. It's 7-1. Dream Decision, 14-1. About 3 and 2 is at 66-1. Scratch number 4, Sunfire. It's a field of 8 runners that remain. Well, it's a race that's not going to take a lot of winning. Good to see Rachel Venica back in the yarn. She takes her first set of mounts on this meeting on Sunday. Obviously good working alongside Rachel during champion season, and she's back in the irons now, fully fit and raring to go. She rides number 6, Miss Kansas, daughter of One World, who produced a very nice run on debut when beaten behind Ruby Rising, and then her last start was just too bad to be true. 17 lengths behind Princess of Verney. That was in a field of 11. So I think we've got to forgive her for that effort. She clearly showed that she is better than that run when finishing 3rd on debut, and when judged on that performance, she's a filly that will have winning claims. She's been given some time off the track just to strengthen up, and I'm sure Michael Roberts would have done a bit of work with her back at home at the starting stall gates, just getting her ready to go, and I think she should be a filly that goes into absolutely all calculations. Number 5, Dream Decision, ran a nice race on debut behind Are You Sure. She finished in 4th spot that day. I think that she's a horse that now dropping back in trip to 1,000 meters for a second start, I think that will suit her a lot better. She's a half sister to that filly War Empress, who's an out and out sprinter, loves the 1,000 meter trip. And this daughter of Futura, given the pace that she showed on debut, I wouldn't be surprised to see the 1,000 meter trip suit her a lot better than 1,200. And I think that she's going to be a lively contender at around 7-1 in the market. And then when you have a look at the balance, number 1, Chimes at Midnight, she finished 3rd on debut behind Are You Sure? So she comes from the same form line as Dream Decision. Last time out, not particularly a best effort, reported just 1 pace that day. She drops in trip to 1,000 meters. She gets 4 kgs off the back. She's got that inside gate to help her along that inside running rail. And I think that she's the type of horse that can have a say in the outcome here. And then when you have a look at the balance, Champagne Problems and Queen Fen, of those two, I far prefer number 8, Queen Fen. She seems to be improving nicely with each start under the belt. The blinkers go on for her assignment on Sunday. And she's a filly that does return off a rest. Finished behind City of Love last time out. Not convinced about that piece of form. She went off as an 8-1 shot with just 53.5 kgs on the back. So she's the type of horse that could have claims at getting involved for trifectas and quartets. Number 8, Queen Fen. But I think 1, 5, 6, those could be the 3 horses that you play around in leg number 1 of that place accumulator, and the second leg of the bipod pushed for top choice. I'm going to go with number 6, Miss Kansas. I like what I saw from her on debut. Last time out, ignored that effort. Rachel Venica back in the arms for Michael Roberts, and that combination will certainly be looking to hit the ground running in the second race on the program. Favorite is the 6 horse Miss Kansas, along with 8 and 9. DeRosa, just to mention, she's had a fair share of chances. Finished second last time out behind KMV Retrofit. I think plays chance at best here in this contest. So that's the second race on the card. Race number 3, this is the start of the pick 6, 1,400 meters the distance, maiden plate, 13:35 is the off time, and you need to make sure you got those pick 6 bets on by then. We've got a rerun for you, and then that'll be followed up by some interviews.
Next of kin between runners is Cardinal Chief as they come down to the 200-meter marker. Next of kin, Canal Skater and Xenophon, the 3 of them across the track. Running on is Cardinal Chief. Xenophon now takes it up, Canal Skater, and here comes Cardinal Chief with a big run. Cardinal Chief goes on to win it. Canal Skater second, Xenophon third, next of kin fourth.
Melangani, yes, he's improving with each run. Probably still needs a bit further. Looking at the race, I think it's quite competitive. But he'll be at the finish.
It has been aggravating too. It's crazy. Look, she's doing very well at home. We're hoping that we try to get further. So I'll put her in the Colts and the Fillies race. She drew 31 out of 31 in the Fillies race, which I think is the weaker race. So she's in the stronger maiden, but she's very well. She's got a good draw, top jockey. No excuses. I think we'll be competitive again. I hope we can get her over the line.
Yeah, Meerkat Moon unfortunately has had several problems along the way since his last run. In that time though, he has matured and strengthened really nicely. He's working really well, but I think it's about 6 months now, but I think maybe that last furlong will just find him out.
Yeah, thanks to the trainers for their comments here in race number 3, 1400 meters, the trip. Number 5, Catch a Penny, very, very costly to follow. Favourite though at 13-10. And she certainly has winning credentials. Number 8, Next of Kin at 28-10. 6, Digital Asset is a 5-1 shot. 13-2, Carnival Park. 7-1, and Better Ball. Those number 1, Tipperary is out. Just having a look at this race, I think it's a race where you probably got to take a stance. You either go light or you include in a few horses here. And I'm going to touch on number 5, Catch a Penny, first up, as she's had 6 seconds to date. Been favourite on, 8 of her 9 outings to date. She's gone off as the favourite and she's failed to produce a good. So, yeah, she's been very, very costly to follow for backers, and whether you're going to be willing to go in at 13-10 once again, I'm personally not convinced. I wouldn't be rushing to take 13-10 about the filly. Yes, winning claims, yes, absolutely inclusion into the first leg of the pick 6, but she's certainly not worth a bet on the head. Gavin Lerena now takes a ride for Glenn Cotton. Gavin's riding her for the first time. Chad Little has been aboard her in 7 of her 9 appearances to date, and she just hasn't been able to crack it. In this type of race, going over the distance will pose no concern at all. She's run a 2nd and a 3rd over the trip. Last time out, that was an open maiden, so she had to concede weight to the entire field. And there were 2 horses in the race, Cheerio Baby and Catch a Penny, that were running 2nd, running 3rd, and just weren't able to get over the line. And one of them got over the line, and that was Cheerio Baby. And Catch a Penny was back in 3rd that day. I don't think the draw particularly assisted her, because she seems to be a horse that likes to press forward and seems to be most effective when she's a lot handier than she was last time out. And I think with Gavin in the irons from a much kinder draw in a slightly smaller field, I think that this filly will be a lot closer to the speed than she was last time out, and she should have every opportunity of winning. I think number 8, Next of Kin, there's going to be massive, massive improvement to come from the son of Canford Cliffs, stepping up in trip to 1400 meters. Last time out, he moved up and he was just reported to be 1 pace. I think that the 1200 meter trip is just a bit too sharp for him. On debut, he ran a cracking race over the distance. Given that it was his first run, he was running fresh, and he may have just enjoyed it going over 1200. But I think he's a horse that's perhaps looking for 14, maybe even 1600 meters. On pedigree, the dam did win from 1100 to 1400 meters, so you'd get the indication that he'd sort of be a sprinting horse and go up to 14. But I think this horse could be looking for a bit of 1600 meters as well, and I think there's going to be a lot of improvement to come from this horse. Callan Murray takes ride, finished 4th last time out behind Cardinal Chief, but that run behind Gimme Rules on debut certainly catches the eye when in 2nd spot. So I think he's going to be a massive contender. I'm in fact going to make him my top choice here, ahead of number 5, Catch a Penny. Number 6, Digital Asset. He looked to be good value last time out, value for the places at least, and he ran 3rd behind Brew. He wasn't disgraced. He hit the front and he was just found wanting. He was not quite sure of what he had to go and do, but I think he's learning all the while on the job, and he's a horse that I'm going to make my 3rd choice. He did finish behind Carnival Park on that run to Star in Motion. He's got about 3 lengths to find, but I think he's got more improvement to come, and I think he could certainly turn that form around. Carnival Park ran a very good race last time out over the mile trip, went 2nd to World of Royalty, and if he has to reproduce a run of that sort, then he'll be involved in the outcome. And then number 3, Malangani, word from Michael Roberts, a horse that is perhaps looking for a touch further, and it is a competitive race, but he could be involved. And then a mention for number 7, which is Meerkat Moon, who returns off a lengthy layoff. He's had his fair share of problems. Mark Dixon seemed to be on top of it now, and let's see how he goes on his return. But next off, Ken, that's going to be my top choice, followed by number 5, Catch a Penny. I think those two horses are good enough to get you through the buy pot and the place accumulator. And in terms of the pick 6, I would just add one more, number 6, Digital Asset. I'd go 5, 6 and 8 in numerical order. Those would be the 3 horses that I include into the first leg of the pick 6. But I think 5 and 8, those are going to be good enough for place accumulators and buy pots. Race number 4, this is the start of Jackpot 1. 10 past 2 is the off time, 1400 meters the trip, maiden plate, fillies and mares, and we've got a rerun, and that will be followed up by a couple of interviews.
Attack Moscow Miss. Flying South looks a big runner on the outside. White Sheepskin Noseband. And here's where Chad Little says at the 200, let's go Flying South. Moscow Miss and Andrew Fortune, though, finding that little bit extra. Moscow Miss by diminishing neck on the outside. Flying South. Flying South is coming on the line. It's tight. Very tight. Nothing cooler than Pootie.
Yeah, I think she wants to go a little bit further. She's out of a mare that won over a trip. She's got a good draw. Gavin back on her. I must say Gavin should pay his agent double fees, because I said no, we sorted for jocks, and he just kept hounding me. I just want these 2 rides. So yeah, well done to him. I think that she'll be a tough nut to crack in that field. I think it's a much weaker field than the Colts race, and we're to split them up. So yeah, I'm pretty confident.
Yes, actually both my fillies for Tarnum as Danum, they've been a little bit disappointing, but I certainly am, hoping for improvement. For Tana is a very slow learner, and so I can't give you much confidence for both of them. But I'm hoping that we see a big improvement now.
Look, she has a tendency to jump out of the gates and not be really interested in racing. So if I could just get her into the race and just get her interested, she will run well.
Yeah, plenty of confidence coming through from Glenn Cotton with number 1, Flying South, and Gavin Larina has got the ride here, and Gavin will be looking to be able to get these 2 fillies home in race number 3, Catch a Penny, and in race number 4, Flying South. When you have a look at the form on offer, it is absolutely nothing that you're going to get excited about here. Horses have had chances, horses have been well beaten, and yeah, there is not anything that stands out apart from number 1, Flying South. There is a horse that I think will make big improvement, but Flying South I think is going to take a power beating. She jumped from gate number 1, 1400 meters is the distance. Triple suit her quite nicely. Last time out she moved up a winner, and she just was edged out by Andrew Fortune and Moscow Miss, who won by the narrowest of margins that day. She's a filly that continues to improve with each start under the belt. She's well placed here, and she's going to be hard to beat. So you're looking for a banker in leg 1 of the jackpot. You've got it here. Race 4, number 1, Flying South. The immediate danger, I think, is going to come from number 6, Miss Twinkle. This filly was all at sea on debut. She finished off a race quite nicely. She was well beaten. She was beaten closer to 10 lengths behind Are You Sure? But I think with that run under the belt, stepping up in trip to 1400 meters, I think that she could show significant improvement to be able to finish second in this race. And then for trifectas and quartets, number 10, Skipper O'Malley from the Wendy Whitehead yard, Calvin Abib takes ride. A filly that there has been a few whispers about her at her last 2 starts, finishing 5 lengths behind Zena Rose and then 3 lengths behind Street Talk last time out. I think given that she's had time off the track to just strengthen up, mature a bit and learn what's racing all about, I think that she could show some nice improvement going over 1400 meters once again from a yard that's certainly having their fair share of winners off late. So 6 and 10 are the 2 horses that I think could follow number 1, Flying South home, but it looks to be very hard to oppose the daughter of Water Winter here from the Glen Cotton yard in race number 4. Race number 5 on the day, 2,400 meters is the distance, and this is a C Stakes, the 5th race on the program. And it is a race where it's going to be a real test of stamina. And we've got a rerun for you, Escapologist, and then that will be followed up by some interviews.
Turn to hit the front, but King Bavarian's coming with a run. Barcy Rockfort's between them. They seem to be brushing one another inside the 200. Escapologist, though, still continues to find. And Escapologist, after running in the average 90 last time out, continues to rock and roll for the victory. From Barcy Rockfort, then came Arctic Silver 3 lengths away. King Seltzer's.
Escapologist she's in a good space at the moment. She's working really well. Settles really well for Cole. I mean, you know, it's she's in her own company. As we know now, she gets a trip well if she settles, which she should do. I think she's a big runner on Sunday.
Yes, nice horse. Won well last time, I thought. You know, still a bit green. He was lugging in with Raymond, and I think he'll get the 2-4, and he must be very competitive.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, with the lightweight, she has to be a huge runner in the race. She just improves with every run, and I think she would be a big runner in the race with that weight.
Yeah, race number 5 over the 2,400 meter trip. I think that this is going to be a straight 2-horse race. 3 and 7. I think those two will fight it out. Escapologist, she won a nice race last time out. She travels so nicely into the race. Cole Dickin gets a good tune out of this daughter of Linkari. The distance was absolutely no issues for her. She was certainly seemed to be crying out for the trip. And she was slung in last time out at the weights. Given the horses that she had been taking on, it was a significant drop in class. She meets similar once again, and when you have a look at her form in Class D company, 9 runs, 4 victories and 3 fourths. Only gone up 2 points for that win, so you could say that the handicap has been very, very lenient with her for that victory. She beat Barcy Rockfort. They meet on the exact same weight term, so there's no reason to suggest why Barcy Rockfort will turn that form around with Escapologist. And I think from gate number 3, she's set to get another nice run in transit, and I think that she's going to be close. She'll go very close to winning. In my opinion, she's a horse to beat. And then number 7, Chill in the Air, who gets 1.5 kgs off the back, courtesy of Rachel Venica, a horse that I think I believe he's looking for the trip. When you have a look at the way he races and the way he closes off his race, he just seems to be a horse that's wanting to go further. He seems to hit a flat spot at the top of the lane at his last 2 starts, but he gets going and he hits the line with intent. And last time out, it was a good win when beating Villa Vicosa. He is a horse that has gone up 3 points for that victory, but with a 1.5 kgs off the back, he's effectively racing off a net 79 once again. So this horse is well placed here with Rachel in the irons from the Michael Roberts yard. He's had 2 goals at Hollywoodbets Scottsville, one over 1,200 meters and then the other was over 1,600 meters. But he did show good improvement, so the course is not an issue for me. I think the course will actually suit him a lot better now that he's sort of learnt what racing is all about and he's going over this distance. So I think he's going to be a massive, massive contender. And then number 9, Lady My Lady, significant step up in trip, but on pedigree you'd get the indication that the distance will suit her quite nicely. The furthest she's been was 1,800 meters when winning her maiden, and last time out she showed some nice improvement with 4 kgs off the back. She's only got 49 kgs to shoulder, so she's certainly got a nice lightweight, and she's dropped in the ratings now on a mark of 66 as well, and she could run into trifectas and quartets. But I think in terms of the pick 6, bar pots, place accumulators, jackpots, just 2 horses needed, 3 and 7. I think they'll fight it out. Top choice going to be Escapologist, followed by number 7, Chill in the Air. Race number 6 next up, Class 4 fillies and mares, 1,000 meters is the distance, 20 past 3 is the off time. And here we've got a rerun for you, Vision to Achieve when finishing second, and then we've got a couple of interviews.
Vision to Achieve, and on the inside, Hot Pull. On the outside of that one, Mia's Athena comes under pressure. Captain's Christie's running on, and Blue Holly on the outside. Vision to Achieve past the 200. Hot Pull's a big runner on the inside, and it's Hot Pull who now takes it up, and Hot Pull's going to win it. Second will go to Vision to Achieve, then Blue Holly, Captain's Christie, Convocation, and Mia's Athena.
Yes, I had to scratch her the last start. She had some foot issues, which appear to have been resolved. She's good in her action again. Fitness levels are where they should be. All she has to do is behave herself in the barriers. She got very stirred up at her last start. She almost broke the front gate open. In hindsight, she probably should have been taken out at the start. She knocked a tooth out and cut her gums to pieces. So hopefully we can get her to load a little bit later on Sunday. And if she behaves and jumps cleanly, she should be involved.
No, she definitely wasn't. It's just if we could crack the draw, it would make a game-changing run for her. But she improves with every run.
Well, this is a very trappy contest. Very, very difficult. I think you need to go wide in those pick six and jackpots. Go as wide as the budget does allow. We'll touch on number 5, Vision to Achieve, who finished second to Hot Pearl last time out in a far stronger race. That was a field of 6 runners, and she was just second best on that day behind Hot Pearl. I thought it was a cracking effort. She's a filly that's banging form from the Paul Gatsby yard. Course and distance suits her ideally. 2-time winner over track and trip with 3 seconds to her name. And from her last 4 starts, she's finished second twice and she's won twice. So it's hard to falter on current form. She's a horse that will be in the vanguard. Number 1, Happier Nalia. She's a filly that I think is far better over the 1,000 meter trip. She stretched over 1,200 meters. Last time out on Hollywoodbets Durban July Day in the first race on the program. She was beaten 3 lengths. She didn't get it all her own way out in front. She was challenged for the lead, and she just tired late on in the day to finish in 6th spot. I think from gate number 1 down that inside running rail with the blinkers set to go back on, I think she's a filly that will certainly run a big race, especially over a favourite trip of 1,000 metres. Number 7, Icy Eleanor, a filly that's held in high regard. She was a winner on debut, followed that up by second placed effort. She's got Vision to Achieve held at the weight on that penultimate run. She's 2.5 kgs better off, and last time out, I think we really have got to just ignore that run. As Peter Muscat alluded to, she should have probably been scratched down at the start. It was the last race on the program. She was all the talk. She was the filly that punters were looking to close off some all-to-comes with on the day, and she just rushed the front gate, and she was just never herself after that. Very keen, over raced, did it too hard out in front, and she folded very badly to finish in 8th spot, 6 lengths behind Princess Hannah. She's a horse that's far better than that run. Yes, she's got a big weight to carry, given that she's still a young 3-year-old filly with 61.5 kgs on the back, having to concede weight to all of her rivals. Not going to be easy, but she's a filly that's probably got the most ability in this race, and I think she's going to be a huge runner at around 9-2 in the market. And then number 8, Tequila Sky, a filly that I think on her last start to Princess Hannah, where she was a bit unlucky, she didn't get the clearest of runs through. There's been some winners from that form line. Princess Hannah herself coming through to enhance that piece of form. And I think that Tequila Sky shouldn't be too far off the action. And then you've got Ruby Rising, who's another horse that will have credentials. Place accumulator, 1, 5, 7, and I'm going to throw in number 8. So 4 horses into that place accumulator, and final leg of the bipod, 1, 5, 7, and 8. My top choice, I'm going to go with number 7, Icy Eleanor, as my top choice here. Callan Murray, Peter Muscat teaming up for Hollywood Racing, who are looking for that landmark winner. And let's see if the Storter of Water Winter can put her best foot forward and get that second victory. But it's certainly going to be a very trappy race with a number of other horses in with chances. A Yui Hurricane Cat to bounce back to winning ways last time out could certainly get involved, and as I mentioned, Ruby Rising as well. So that's race number 6. Race number 7, D Stakes, 1400 meters is the distance. 4 p.m. is the off time for the penultimate race on the program, and we've got an interview.
Good run. Unfortunately, there's not many races over 1600 for fillies at the moment, and that's what she's really looking for. But she'll be staying on the finish nicely. She's done well since the last run.
Yeah, thanks to Michael Roberts for his comment about number 8, Amma Fort. Favorite here, number 6, Attaboy, 22-10. The Supernova Star is at 5-2, 4-1 about Beach Palace at 6-1, and better about the balance. Scratches number 2, the Golden Goal. And just having a look at this race, there's not a lot of form to work with in this contest, not strong form at least. So it's a race that's not going to take a lot of winning. But the key piece of form, I would say, is that Ralph the Rascal run. The Supernova Star finishing 4th. Behind him was Attaboy, Beach Palace, and Sail to the Moon. That was in an apprentice contest where all these horses had apprentices on their back, and they get senior riders in this on Sunday at least. And number 3, the Supernova Star, had a first start for Wendy Whitehead last time out, and she showed very nice improvement in that 4th position. Calvin Abib now takes a ride on a mark of 59. She jumped from gate number 3, and I thought that with her last start under the belt, now having a second run after her, she'll strip a much fitter horse. I think she's a filly that should certainly be involved in the outcome. The distance suits her quite nicely. She's been up to 1900 meters when running 3rd. She's a winner over 1600 meters, so I don't see her having any issues going 1400 meters once again, and I think that she's going to be in the firing line. Number 6, Attaboy, Gavin Arena now takes the ride. Yeah, this horse at 22-10 in the market, I think he's too short. He's a one-time winner. He hasn't won for 622 days. At 22-10, I don't think he's a betting proposition. He's a horse that needs to jump out on terms. I think that Gavin Arena could make a significant difference here. When you have a look at his sort of last 6 runs, from a 67, he's come down to a 62, and he's had apprentices on his back the last sort of 6 starts. So he now gets a senior rider, the man in the lead in the Jockey Championship, likely to win the Jockey Championship. And I think that's going to make a massive difference. So I can see the angle that the market has got this horse as a top one here at 22-10. I think he's going to run a huge race. The earmuffs are set to go on. If Gavin can get this horse to jump on terms and just get him into the race, he's a horse that can finish off his race quite nicely, and he'll be involved in the finish. But it's definitely a significant jockey book in here with number 6, Attaboy, and it could be a smart move from Paul Afti to get Gavin aboard, the son of Trippy, who's dropped quite nicely in the ratings, now racing off a mark of 62. It was once upon a time a 79 after winning his maiden, and that was some time back, but I think he could be involved. And then this horse, Beach Palace, also from the Paul Afti yard, Callan Murray takes a ride. He's a 2-time winner. He's a winner at the track. His last start, he had Ianish Tucker aboard, and he now gets the services of Callan Murray on a mark of 68, which is a mark 2 points higher than his last winning mark. He's a horse that could just prefer 1600 meters, but I think he'll be doing his best work at the finish. And then number 8, Amma Fort, a filly that has dropped from a 79 down to 67. She was not disgraced last time out behind Copacabana in 5th spot. She seems to be improving with racing. She now gets the services of Rachel Venica. She hasn't particularly run her best races at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. She seems to be better around the turn at Hollywoodbets Greyville, but I think there could be further improvement to come. And Amma Fort at 10-1 in the market, I think she could be the roughie in the races. 3-year-old daughter of Mambo in Seattle with 60 kgs on the back. So 3, 4, 6 and 8, I think those are going to be the forces that you can play around in the pick 6 and jackpots. Top choice here, I'm going to go with number 3, the Supernova Star, ahead of number 6, Attaboy, and then Beach Palace and Amma Fort. In that order is how they'll tip them. But I think the winner could likely come from one of those forces, with Amma Fort being the upset potential here at 10-1. Race number 8, final race on the day. This is a Class 4 fillies and mares, 1400 meters. The trip 16:35 is the off time for the last race on Sunday at Hollywoodbets Scottsville. And before we get into it, Michael Roberts, Peter Muscat and JC Bortis interviews.
I think she'll go very well. It's the first time, like you say, that she gets a good draw. And she's ready for her next win.
Yes, she's a very big filly with a superb pedigree. While she was racing, she hadn't really furnished into a large frame. So we gave her an extended break to allow nature to do its trick. She's come back much stronger, bigger filly, but she's certainly going to need the outing, and I don't think she's going to be effective until she gets to 2,000 meters.
Definitely, I've worked her quite a lot, and I know her pretty well. The only thing that bothers me is the draw, but we'll see what happens on race day.
Race number 8, favourite here is number 11, Prom Queen at 4-1. Number 5, Redu is trading at 9-2 in the market. 5-1, Sparkling Jubilee, Sky Tricks. It's 7-1, Ethereal View, 10-1, and Better Barlow. So that's the market there. Some nice comments coming through from Michael Roberts with number 3, Siberian Winter, is a 14-1 shot in this race. He believes that she's ready for next win. The triple suitor, and she's ideally drawn. So if you like Siberian Winter, perhaps she's worth an inclusion in to the final leg of the Pick 6 and final leg of Jackpot 2. My top 2 selections here, I'm going to start with number 4, Ethereal View. I think she's all the value in the race at 7-1 in the market, getting 14-10 at top 3 place on Hollywood Bets. 7-1, 14-10 for the place. I think that this filly is going to be a massive runner. Last time out on Hollywoodbets Durbanville July Day, she was just outdone by that deep draw. She just never got into contention over 1200 meters, and she was beaten 5 lengths behind Raga Lover. If you judge her on a penultimate run, went second to Papillon Blue. Papillon Blue has since come through to frank her own piece of form, so Papillon Blue's a winner at her next start, and this filly was second best that day. She's on a mark of 78. She jumps from gate number 4, which I think is hugely beneficial to her chances. And just looking at how the race could be run, with a bit of speed on the inside and the speed on the outside, Redu, Nautical Landing, both horses that like to go forward, I think that this filly is going to get a dream run in transit, and I think that she is a massive contender for top honours, and she could be overdue that 3rd career victory after she's finished close up in a couple of her recent efforts. So on a mark of 78, she's well below her last winning mark. I think that she's going to go very close to winning. Number 5, Redu. Ignore her last starts on the poly track over 1600 meters on KZN Breeders' Day. Just never really got into the hunt when taking on the boys. She's back against same-sex company. She's been dropped a further point by the handicapper, now racing off a mark of 71. She is a horse that I think will be far better suited to 1400 meters. She ran second over course and distance 3 runs back behind Colorado Creek, and she races off a 2-point lower mark. So I think she's nicely placed here to put in a bold showing. Number 10, Sky Tricks, a filly that will be doing her best work at the finish. JC Bortis now takes a ride for the Michael Miller yard, so she gets some weight off the back. She races off a mark of 74, but if you take the 4 kgs into account, she's effectively racing off a net 66, which makes her incredibly well weighted here. And then number 11, Prom Queen, who went off as the favourite last time out with a scratching down at the start of one part that was Frank Robinson's horse, but she finished in 4th that day behind Plum Pudding. And I think from that deep draw, she's going to have a work cut out, but she'll be doing her best work at the finish and could have a say in the outcome. But I think in terms of the place accumulator, 4 and 5 are the 2 horses that I think will be good enough. In terms of the pick 6, number 10, Sky Tricks, number 11, Prom Queen, and then you could throw in number 3, Siberian Winter, just based on the comments that Michael Roberts did give about this daughter of Rabada. And then the recent maiden winner, Nautical Landing, well, I think she's got a work cut out in this lineup to make it back-to-back out the maidens. I far prefer the stable companion, Ethereal View, who is a 2-time winner. I think she's going to run a huge race at 7-1. So 4 and 5, that's my top 2 choices here in race number 8. And then 10, 11, and 3 other horses that you can include into the play. So that's race number 8. That wraps it up for the race meeting at Hollywoodbets Scottsville on Sunday. Hopefully you managed to back some winners along the way, and it is a profitable day's racing for you as we build up to the Whirlpool Gold Cup race meeting on Sunday the 27th of July we've got to start building up that kitty. Of course, we've got anti-post, well, no longer anti-post, but we've got the bets and markets up on Hollywoodbets, which you can get involved in, perhaps take some few doubles on the day into the race meeting on Sunday the 27th. But all the best. Hopefully you find yourself in the winner's queue.